Welcome to the Top 5s on Tap podcast. I'm Hayden.
And I'm Josh. Every week we'll be discussing a new top 5. There'll be some facts, some trivia, so feel free to have a guest along at home.
Suggestions for new episodes are always welcome, so if you've got one, email it to us at top5sontap@gmail.com.
We'll consider all topics, providing they are somewhat quantified and aren't entirely opinion-based, because our opinions
Mean nothing. With all that being said, let's get into this week's Top 5. Hello.
Welcome back.
Once again.
Yes.
To the podcast.
Yeah, this bit's always fun.
We have another Top 5
We do.
coming right at you.
Quick one this time.
Hopefully so.
15 minutes or less.
It's a very, very long episode last night.
Apologies for the last episode. It was a little bit long.
Trudged through it, and congratulations.
There's a lot of facts in there, though. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why it's so long, because you couldn't figure out what to cut out of
It was
it.
trimmed down from a full hour on it. So,
It was.
All the best bits. Doing monarchs today, aren't we?
Yeah.
Longest reigning monarchs
Top 5 longest reigning monarchs.
of a sovereign nation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think the reigning bit is the important. You have to be the primary chief ruler.
Yes.
In order to be considered the top dog.
Yeah,
We're looking at the top 5 top dogs of the world, basically.
Top 5 top dogs. Should we jump straight into it? I don't think there's any caveats, is there?
I don't think so, really. There's not many technicalities to this
We can
one.
discuss sovereign nations.
Oh, also,
later
yeah,
on.
it's obviously based on ones that we have exact dates for.
Yes.
Not we, as in humanity has exact dates for.
We'll talk about some dubious ones later, but these are confirmed. No rumours.
Yeah.
All legit.
Exactly.
So number 5?
Yeah.
5.
So number 5 is, now this one's a bit of a tricky one to pronounce.
You're going
But
to give
it
it your
is-
best go, though, aren't you?
Kenit Chenab Pakal.
Beautiful pronunciation there.
A bit of help from the phonetic alphabet there to help
Lovely.
explain those letters.
Where's old Pakal from?
He was the reigning Ahau of
Ahau.
Palenque,
Palenque.
which is in modern day Mexico.
Yes.
It was a Mayan city-state in Mexico, yeah.
And what years was he ruling from?
So he reigned from 615 until 683.
Which is a grand total of
68 years and 33 days.
quite good. They've got the days as well for
It
that,
is, yeah.
that long ago. It's quite impressive.
Yeah, well, they know the dates. They had calendars, didn't they? So,
Of course, yeah.
So if they can...
People love those. Is Maya different to Mayan?
Maya is Mayan, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. Known as Pascal the Great.
Pascal the Great. Pascal might not be his name.
Pascal, sorry.
Pascal the Great, yeah.
Pascal the Great.
Pascal, I think, is there. Yeah.
Oh, Pascal is the correct
Yeah,
pronunciation.
Yeah. When he died, he was obviously 68 years on the throne. He was the longest reigning monarch in the world for more than a millennium.
Yes. Yeah.
No one else overtook him for that length of time.
We might have someone else on this list that overtook him. We might have a few people on
I
this
think
list.
there might be 4 people on this list who've
4
overtaken him.
people. It's like that classic question, isn't it? If you overtake second place
Yeah.
in a race, what place do you go into? Second place.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, definitely 4 people overtaking him. So yeah, he assumed the throne at the age of 12
He did.
and ruled until his death at the age of 80, which is quite good innings for back in that time.
I think so, yeah. It's pretty good going.
Life expectancies were, I'm guessing, a little bit less in the 600s.
Kings live well, don't they? Eat well.
Eat well.
He wasn't suffering from any famines, I imagine, and stuff. So
Probably
him
not.
personally, anyway.
I mean, we can talk a lot in length about it later because I've got some good stuff in it. But his sarcophagus lid.
No.
You must have read about this.
Yeah, I think we should leave this as a little.
We got to talk about this later. But he's got a very
Keep listening to find out
should
more.
we say elaborate sarcophagus list with some
Ornate.
some very interesting interpretations
Yes,
as well.
very ornate. Yes.
So did you know about his reign? So basically, we said he ascended at the age of 12.
Yeah.
So before he ascended, his mother was the leader of the Mayas, and she ruled for 3 years until her son reached maturity, which at that time was considered 12.
Yeah.
And then I've got here that apparently almost instantly as he became the leader, he immediately started building elaborate monuments. So at the age of 12, he went, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Let's get building these temples
Build
and these
some
shrines.
build some big pyramids.
Yeah.
And
But
they are pretty
There's
big.
some pretty good stuff, yeah. For 12 years old as well, because I couldn't build any of that stuff out of
Lifting
Lego.
those blocks would be pretty tough. Like,
I'm sure I had a few people to help him out.
4.
So at number 4, we have Johann II,
Johann II, yeah.
who was the chief, the king of
Ruler
ruler
yeah.
of Liechtenstein from the years of 1858 to
1929.
1929. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just got it as 29 on my thing. I was
Oh,
I was
right.
like, what year is 29? We're not in 2029 yet.
Yeah.
A total of 25,658 days, or 70 years and 91 days.
Yes, exactly.
So,
He's also known as Johann the Good
yes, he was, yes. Johann de Gut, as I've apparently got it
in German.
in German, probably, I
Yeah.
think so. An unsociable man. Very, don't
Apparently
like,
so,
don't
yeah.
like parties.
Yeah, he didn't participate in social events.
Yeah. A very, I mean, without being too harsh, because I know he's dead, a very boring man, can we say?
I think if he was in the modern times, he would be considered a gamer, a pro gamer.
He had no wife, no kids, and he was. I mean, we'd like you to research Johann II yourself, and if you can come up with any interesting facts
Yeah,
about
we're
him, because
struggling with this guy.
we were struggling.
Yeah.
One of the best I came up with was he was the 987th recipient of the Knight of the Order of the Golden Fleece in Austria.
Oh wow.
So it's a so basically it's a prestigious and historic order of chivalry.
Oh, okay.
And it's referred to as the most prestigious and historic. And it's like a collar with like a medal on it, and each collar is fully coated in gold, and is estimated to be worth around 50,000 euros, making it the most
Wow.
expensive chivalrous honor there is.
That's pretty.
So yeah, and it pretty much is like they've only given, I mean, they've given 1,000 out, but they're very much to kings and queens and
I
stuff.
take it he got that before he fell out with Austria-Hungary.
I'm guessing so.
Because I think in World War One he remained neutral.
He did,
even
yes.
though he was an ally with Austria-Hungary.
They did not like that.
And they didn't like that. And then
Did you have to flee Liechtenstein at one point? Is that a thing? You have to flee?
I think
elsewhere?
most monarchs fled Europe when the war went and the war started.
And this was First World War, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, but at this point he'd already got rid of the Liechtenstein army way back in 1800s anyway.
Oh, right, okay.
So
He just didn't have an army at
they didn't
all.
have an army at all.
I
no.
mean, you kind of have to be neutral then, don't you?
yeah. And yeah, they got rid of it after when they left the German Confederation.
Right, okay.
I think Germany required them to be armed to be
Right.
part of the
And they're
Confederation
like,
states.
nah, don't fancy it.
Nah.
Who wants to invade Liechtenstein?
Yep.
But yeah, no, Johann II, number 4.
Very interesting man.
So yeah, if any of his children want to dispute that he was an interesting guy, then please feel free to write in.
He doesn't have any.
Oh yeah, he didn't have any children.
And they'd also be very old now, I imagine.
If any of his great nephews or nieces want to
Yes.
let us know about some interesting facts to know about their great uncle,
Any of
then,
its extended family.
yeah, let us know.
3,
Number 3 is old Lizzie herself,
I've heard of her.
Elizabeth II.
The second
Yeah,
of her name.
of United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia currently.
Oh yeah, it's quite a
That's-
few in there. I thought there was a few more. But no.
That's the current. That's what the current one.
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah.
So
I think
she-
she's lost a few over the
She
years.
doesn't reign over the whole of the Commonwealth.
Not anymore. No.
Right, okay.
She no, she might still be head of the. I think no. She's officially ruler. She's head of the Commonwealth, but doesn't make her monarch. I don't think.
Right,
Of
okay.
those countries.
Let's see.
70 years, 104 days, and counting. Oh, sorry.
106 at the time of release.
106
So,
on as you are listening to it
recorded
now.
on a Saturday, out on a Monday.
Yeah.
So yeah, as of Monday, the 23rd of May, 106 days and 70 years.
Which puts
20 days
behind second place.
behind second place. So in a few weeks' time, she'll be up into second place. She'll have
Yeah.
overtaken second place in the race and assumed second place.
So maybe we're making this at the wrong time because we're gonna have to update it in.
We'll do a re-release in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
So exactly the same episode, just 2 and 3 of Switch Around.
Yeah.
0.6 wadders in height.
Oh, excellent! I'm glad we know how tall the
She's
Queen is in
5'4"
terms of waddles.
in height. So compared to Robert Wadlow's 8'10", 8'11".
Wow.
So that's 60% of her wadders. But she is 4.36 wad years old. So a wad year is 22 years.
Right. Okay.
But she is 96.
This is getting extreme
4.36.
Robert Wadlow based measurements.
Yes. Any podcast can jam them in. I will be doing so. 14 prime ministers served under her. It's a lot,
14.
lot of
That's
prime
quite a
ministers.
few,
isn't
isn't
it?
it? Yeah.
15 Commonwealth realms I've got as well. So there's 15. But like you said earlier, maybe not all of them are under her jurisdiction anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when she was coronated, she had United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Pakistan, Ceylon, which is now Sri Lanka, obviously,
Right.
and she was the head of the Commonwealth. Well, she still is the head of the Commonwealth, but I think that it's not necessarily
She's not the monarch of
monarch
those
of those
countries.
places anymore.
Yeah, they could have like written her out in like a constitution, couldn't they? and stuff? Yeah.
She's the only person in the UK allowed to drive without a driving license.
Is she?
Yeah.
Other than my grandma.
Does she have a driving license?
She's dead. Birthday cards. Do you
Yeah,
hope one day to receive a 100-year-old birthday card from said monarch?
No.
Unlikely to be. No, you don't hope to get to 100. No.
Oh, I'll hope to live to 100. I don't care about the birthday
you don't care
card
about
from the
birthday
Queen.
cards?
No,
Well, it's not gonna, it might be the Queen.
I hope I get lost in the
It's
post.
probably not going to be this Queen.
Oh, yeah. The
So
King.
the tradition started way back in 1917. Bit of history for you. Do you know who was king in 1917?
That would be Edward George the Fifth.
George V.
Is it George V?
George
Yeah,
V.
George V. Yeah.
Yeah. So he sent out a telegram with the words, "His Majesty hopes that the blessings of good health and prosperity may attend you during the remainder of your days." And that year, the first year they did it, he sent out only 24 cards.
All right.
There's
Okay.
not many people living to 100 back in 1917. Queen Elizabeth, so came about in, I don't think we did the years, did we? 1952.
Oh, yeah,
Ascension. 1953
Till
coronation. So incumbent, I've got it down as.
Yeah, incumbent.
So yeah.
Actually, the only incumbent monarch on this list.
Yeah, and in the top 20, 25, I think, as well.
yeah.
Like, very much. I feel like a lot of countries have done away with monarchs.
Oh, I wonder why.
Who knows?
She's
But
she's actually twice on the list.
She is for Jamaica as well.
For Jamaica as well, yeah.
And so when the Queen ascended in 1952, so before the year of her coronation, she had to send out 273 cards that year.
Oh, right, okay.
So quite a lot of cards.
Not bad, yeah.
As of the most recent facts I've got from 2014, there's an office that's have to be created to send out these cards, these 100-year cards on her behalf, and they have to hire extra staff because that number is now around the 7,500 mark. Every year they've got to send out around 7,500 cards.
Do they need extra staff for that?
Can you imagine
7,500 cards.
Can you imagine writing out
Just
7,500?
mail merge it. You'd have to write it out.
Email them.
Yeah.
WhatsApp them a message from the Queen.
Print it out or just send it by a funky pigeon or something.
But yeah, so I can understand why she's probably not doing it herself anymore. It's a lot of signing cards, isn't it?
Do you know that she is the Guinness World Record holder for the person most featured on the most currencies in the world?
Feature on the most currencies. Okay.
Yeah, the most currency notes she's features on in the world.
Right, okay. Is that because obviously she's used to be head of state in quite a lot of different places?
Exactly. Yeah,
So like ours, Canada.
Well, there's not many people who would be sort of popular enough to feature on more
Multiple currencies, yeah. No, that's true.
Maybe if depictions of Muhammad Rouhani might be on there.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah,
I think
that's interesting on that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good on her anyway.
2.
So number 2, we have another slightly difficult to pronounce one from Thailand.
From Thailand, indeed.
Very much known as Rama the Ninth.
He was, yeah.
But his actual name is Pumipom Adamyede,
Yeah.
which should sound a bit like this.
Pumipon Adunyade.
So, such a good pronunciation. Spelled quite differently to how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Spelled Bhumibol, so like bum-y-bol. But the surname also kind of pronounced
Someone did a terrible job romanticising
Yeah, really
Thai,
bad.
apparently.
Yeah, awful job. A king of Thailand from 1946 up until 2016, so the most recent one on the list. To not be incumbent currently. So that's a great grand total of 25,694 days, also known as 70 years and 126 days. So any listeners out there taking note of numbers, 20 more days for Lizzie and she'll be.
I mean, you're listening to it now. You might be listening to it going, well, Queen Lizzie already is the second, and we're sorry about that.
Exactly.
But
So
the way time works, we can't.
So as of kind of mid June, Lizzie will have. I'm sure you'll see the news story about Lizzie going into second place, and then she's got a bit longer to try and get up to first. He was born in Massachusetts.
He was.
Cambridge.
His father was studying medicine.
Yes, yeah, he was in Harvard. Yeah.
He was, yeah.
So he only came to Thailand in 1928.
He was, so that makes him the only Thai monarch to be born in the US.
Oh, okay.
Or it might actually be the only monarch, full stop, to be born in the US,
Right.
actually.
Oh, that's an interesting fact. Then.
Yeah. Because obviously, US don't have their own monarch. I mean, this is since the United States have been confederated. We're not saying, like, we're not discounting all the native history of America, saying, you know, there's probably many kings and chieftains before that.
Of course,
but,
yeah.
As the US as it's known today, it was
Yes.
the only monarch born there. He actually grew up in Switzerland.
Okay.
Because he went to school there, and then the World War II broke out, and they obviously couldn't get back to Thailand.
Right, so we're stuck in Switzerland.
Yeah, no safe way to get there.
Staying neutral.
Yeah.
Like our friends in Liechtenstein.
It's not like you could just hop on a plane back in 1940s, was it?
Not quite, no. Bit stranded. Do you know he ascended to the throne following the death of his brother?
Yes.
His brother died by a gunshot, apparently.
Yeah.
In 1946, in circumstances that remain unclear.
Yes, exactly.
It's slightly disputed.
There's many arguments and conspiracies.
There is. I read one where apparently they think he accidentally shot himself, and then an investigation ruled that definitely was pretty much impossible, and that he couldn't have shot himself.
Yeah.
And that 2 aides apparently were found guilty of his death.
Yeah, eventually, after many trials and many sort of... it actually took a coup by the military taking over to then accuse those guys, to then get the trial done. And then,
Yeah, and then the last possibility, which we don't know for sure, and no one really knows, but apparently he could have been accidentally shot by our main man himself.
Yeah, exactly.
While they were both playing around with pistols, but it was never really considered. But we'll never know.
He was a jazz enthusiast.
Okay.
He played the saxophone all his life.
Oh, nice.
And he also loved photography.
Okay.
He got his first camera in 1934.
Big photographer.
And he loved his photography, yeah. When he was in Switzerland, when he was younger, he was driving his Fiat down a road.
Yes.
And near Lausanne. And he collided with the back of a truck.
Wow.
Which he injured his back. He suffered paralysis in half his face, and he incurred cuts on his face that cost him the sight of his right eye.
Oh, okay. So he had very little depth perception.
He was blind in one eye. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some rubbish at catching stuff.
Yes. Or pointing guns, maybe.
So just to clarify, definitely didn't kill his brother.
And he's a great man for his love of jazz and his photography.
Thank you.
No criticisms from us.
None.
Because we don't want to get put in prison.
Yes.
1.
And number 1 is another hard one to pronounce. I think it's
Louis.
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 I think it's a Louis.
Louis the 14th of France.
France.
Francais.
Vive la France.
He ruled for a whopping 72 years, 110 days.
She's got a bit of catching, doesn't she, Lizzie?
Keep going, Lizzie. You got a few years to catch him up.
She'll be about 98 by then.
Yeah.
Give herself a birthday card.
Yeah, he ruled from the 14th of May, 1643 to the 1st of September, 1715.
Yes.
I think he was very young when he
yeah, he
ascended to the
was.
throne.
Yeah, like 4 or something, I think.
Yeah, four.
Yeah.
Nearly 5, yeah.
They had a regent, though, didn't they, for a while?
Yeah, that's the general gist.
Until he got the full powers of executing people on the spot. Kill that man! Louis the Great, or Louis le Grand.
Or the Sun King.
Le Roi Soleil.
Yes. Is he going to carry on doing everything I say in French?
I was going to do the whole podcast in French, but I mean, you don't speak it, do you? So
no,
I can't, can I? So I'll keep it in English. Do you know there's a state named after him?
Is there?
Do you know what state might be named after him?
No.
I mean, you should be able to work it out.
Should I?
Yes.
Is it Mississippi?
No.
Ah,
You play with me now.
yes.
Oh, thank God. Of course, it's Louisiana because his first name is Louis. So Frenchman, some more French for you because I know you love it. René Robert Cavelier, Sieur de la Salle.
What is this?
So he's a French explorer, basically. And
Okay.
he claimed the interior North America,
Okay.
trained
right,
by the Mississippi River. And in 1682, he basically went, I'll name this a little bit Louisiana in honor of our current king, Louis the 14th. And then the Louisiana Territory became American property after the Louisiana Purchase.
Yes. Yeah, but they bought a lot of land off the French.
They did. French
Huge
claimed a lot of it in like the mid and south, I think. And then
It was right though. Yeah, pretty much most of the middle of America they bought off the
no one
French.
really wanted it, did they?
No.
French were like, we will have this land. So yeah, that was in 1803, and then the state joined the Union in 1812.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Back to Louis.
That was all about him.
He actually had. Well, he's a massive proponent of the divine right of kings, for starters.
Most kings are, I imagine.
Not this, but this is like he was.
He was really into it.
He believes that he's the.
Oh, he believed he was chosen,
Yeah. So
not just pure luck and chance.
Yeah. So, and also he had more children with his mistress than he did his actual wife.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Naughty boy.
He built the Palace of Versailles, very famous French palace.
Oh yeah. He didn't like Paris, did he? Was that a thing with him?
He liked Paris. He just lived outside of Paris.
I thought I read something about him saying like he just really disliked Paris, so he built loads of stuff outside of Paris in Versailles, which is like 15 miles away.
Yeah, but he made Paris the centre of France.
Right,
he wanted Paris to be the centre of France.
He just didn't care to live there.
Yeah, because he actually did a lot of work dismantling the feudal system of France.
Oh, okay.
So getting rid of barons and stuff like that, and making it so that the central power wasn't barons in different provinces.
Right.
It was actually all centred in Paris.
Oh, okay. That's easy. All right. Joined his body laid to rest in Saint Denis Basilica, just outside Paris.
Saint Denis.
Saint Denis. Remained there undisturbed until about 80 years.
Yeah.
Until, do you know what happened about 80 years
the
after?
French Revolution.
Le Vive la Révolution.
And they came and smashed everything up.
They exhumed it and destroyed all the remains found in the basilica because they went, we do not like these people anymore. And did not care for them. But have any more interesting facts about old Louis?
Yeah, well, a bit of a morbid one, but he was obviously very old by the time he died.
Yes. Yeah, he was quite old.
But so he actually outlived all of his, most of his legitimate heirs.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, his last surviving legitimate son died in 1711.
Right.
So 4 years before he died.
So no heirs before he died.
So he had to go to his grandson.
And at 70 odd, he was looking a bit ropey.
He actually outlived a couple of his grandsons as well.
Oh, wow.
So he really was. I mean, this is, I think a few of those was to do with war and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But he's, so it went to his 5-year-old grandson, I think, at the time.
Right, okay.
So he was,
that's a big jump, isn't it? From
Yeah.
a 70-odd-year-old to a young grandson.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I mean, he that's how he himself came to the throne, wasn't it? So,
You got any more? I'm all out of Louis facts.
he was very Catholic.
Oh, yeah?
He actually made it France more Catholic than it used to be.
Right.
His grandfather.
So was France just not Catholic before?
He was always Catholic, but his
Right.
grandfather Henry IV allowed French Protestants to practice.
Right, okay.
They were known as the Huguenots. You may have heard of them before.
No.
Okay,
I
yeah.
heard Huguenots.
Anyway, so he allowed them to practice, and then Louis came along and was like, "No, we're going full Catholic,"
Oh, okay.
and stopped all practicing
Just
Protestantism.
banned it out, right?
Yeah, and so that's why a lot of those French Protestants moved to America.
Oh, okay. Right,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So you can go practice the religion there. I suppose
Exactly,
kind of like what with the Mayflower and like the Europeans as well, like the English settlers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
weren't allowed to practice what they wanted to practice. But yeah, congrats to Louis.
Congratulations.
Yeah, chucking that applause anytime soon.
Now.
Beautiful applause time in
Wonderful
there. Hayden.
applause, wonderful
Like,
applause.
So smooth, flawless editing. Bonus facts. What do you want to talk about? What have you got? What have you got for me? Anything exciting you've learned along the way?
Oh, I mean, a few of those monarchs obviously died.
Yes.
And we said that we're saying, Elizabeth's the only incumbent reigning monarch.
Yes.
Do you know the other longest current incumbent reigning
Current
monarch?
reigning ones.
Obviously, Queen Elizabeth is number one
By quite a distance.
and number two.
But the Jamaica's number 2.
Yeah, Jamaica's number 2. Yeah.
So I think like Sweden got like a monarch. Denmark.
Denmark's number 4.
Denmark got a
yeah.
monarch.
Marguerite II.
Marguerite.
I think it's probably how you pronounce it.
Yeah, I think second is how you say the word second. Are they all European or are they elsewhere?
No. We've got another sort of Scandinavian country.
Norway.
No.
Finland.
Nope. The last one.
Sweden, Norway,
Sweden.
Finland. I said Sweden.
You
at the
did say
start.
Sweden.
I said Sweden at the start.
You didn't?
I did. You've listened to it back.
Oh,
right?
okay, that's fine.
Started off with Sweden. You were like, no, Sweden. Leave this in. Do not edit this out.
Okay, yeah.
But I did think that's Sweden. But Sweden number 3.
Sweden's number 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that Ethiopia have a king?
No, but it's Brunei.
Brunei, Sultan of Brunei.
Hassan al Bolkiah.
Excellent.
Probably.
Lots of great pronunciations in this
Yeah.
episode.
And Sultan bin Mohammed al Qasimi III
Qatar or something like that?
of the United Arab
Oh,
Emirates.
wait.
Yeah. And then Queen Elizabeth appears in the top 10 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah, she's in at number 6 is the region of Bahamas. Number 8 is the region of Grenada.
Are these still ongoing as well? Are these stopped?
Grenada. No, they're still ongoing. Yeah,
Oh, right,
because
okay.
obviously she's
She took them on later on in her time.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Right.
And the and then in number 10, joint 10th with Papua New Guinea. Oh no, yeah, with Papua New Guinea in number 10. So, and then 11, 12, 13th, and 14th.
5 times, 10-time world record holder.
So she's quite a prolific monarch.
Formidable
Prolific, very prolific.
on the monarch charts.
Yes, yeah.
We mentioned it earlier, so we were talking, obviously, our list was mainly based on sovereign states,
Yeah.
where they were the chief of the chief.
Yeah.
Should we talk about some ones where we have some contenders that are longer?
I'd say more than contenders because it's like, look at the list I've got here.
There's at least 5, isn't there?
15.
15.
15 would be above longer than Louis.
If we didn't do sovereign states,
Yeah,
we just
exactly,
did
yeah.
leaders of places.
Yeah.
I'm guessing top of your list is our main man, Sapuza.
Yeah.
Sapuza II, who was the paramount chief of Swaziland.
Exactly. But as it was a British protectorate,
Yes.
his reign
Doesn't quite
didn't count.
got cut a bit short, I think, didn't it? It
Yeah,
became
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, but so he was. He reigned for 82 years and 254 days. So that's another 10 years on top of Louis.
Exactly. Yeah.
So very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
A lot of wives. You know how many wives he had?
I don't know how many wives he had.
70 wives.
Wow.
70 wives who gave him 210 children between the years of 1920 and 1970. About 180 children survived infancy. And at his death, he has more than 1,000 grandchildren.
What?
1,000 grandchildren.
That is incredible.
That's a lot of grandchildren.
There's a lot of people in general.
Think how many boxes of chocolates he would have got for Christmas and that.
Think about how many birthday cards he got.
He was doing all right, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He definitely wasn't giving them all the tenner though on their birthdays.
No. Oh, I don't know. He might be. He's a king after all.
It could be. So it's a bit of a spenny year though, isn't it? British monarchs. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about him because there's a few of them.
The longest reigning British monarchs.
So
I don't know this.
I've got little random facts about British monarchs. So some about reigns, some just about random stuff. So youngest British monarch to start their reign. Do you know who that was?
Youngest to start the reign.
Yeah. Youngest king. I've got youngest king now.
Youngest king.
Yeah. Youngest king was Henry VI.
Henry VI, was
He
he?
was 8 months and 26 days old.
8 months and
at the
26
time of his
days
accession.
old.
imagine never knowing anything other than being the king.
Yeah.
Like growing up at like 4 and 5, and people are like, you are the king.
Yeah.
I mean,
No wonder the
toddler.
Divine Right Kings was a thing. They probably did believe they were special.
Of course you would. Like, if you're getting that pumped into you from that age, like, why wouldn't you? What else have I got for you? I've got some. I've got some height facts because anytime I can get a Robert Wadlow mention, I'll jam it in there.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Do you know the tallest British monarch was?
I'm going to say, I don't know.
Edward the Fourth.
Oh, Edward, yeah, because he was known as Edward the Tall or Edward Longshanks, whatever he was.
So good knowledge that. So basically, his skeleton measured 6 foot and 4.5 inches.
I was going to say 8 foot. That's massive.
Robert Wadlow's skeleton measured 8 foot, but Edward IV now 6 foot and 4.5 inches. So they think when he was kind of fully clad with skin and bones and all that jazz and armor, they reckon he would have stood about 6'7" in height. So that's a pretty tall bloke.
Yeah, very intimidating.
Yeah, so he was known as Edward Longshanks, but apparently his Longshanks were not just the length of his legs, but his arms. So his arms are apparently just under a yard long, 91 centimetres long.
Fine.
So yeah, his shanks were his arms.
I bet he had a big bow.
I'm glad you said bow. So Edward was 0.71 wadders as well. So yeah, not quite. A bit more than Lizzie, but not quite a full 1-for-1.
Quite a bit more than Lizzie.
Lizzie was 60% wadders. He's 71% wadders. Do you want some shortest people?
The shortest monarchs.
Yeah, I got Victoria. She was 5 foot.
Oh, was she?
She 5 foot.
I think she was the second longest reigning British monarch as well.
Yes, yeah, she was. And George the Fourth as well.
Don't know. George the Third, maybe. I think he's quite old when he died.
Maybe George the Third. Shortest king, Charles the First, 5'4" inches. Adult. It does say adult height as well, because if you go from when they were 8 months old.
Well, it's obviously the maximum height they reach. Not,
peak height.
Yeah.
You got any facts you want to tell me about?
Well, we should actually probably talk about what the listeners have been waiting for, mate. We kept them on tenterhooks.
You know what I was talking about last night?
Yeah.
We'll keep this in because this is a great chat. When we're talking about the things that you only to realise, tenterhooks was my last one. I thought it was tenderhooks for ages. Yeah. And someone's like, it's tenter. I was like, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was tenderhooks for years, like all my life until like 2 years ago. But yeah, carry on. Tenterhooks. What are we on tenterhooks for?
Well, about the, if you've got any UFO fans out there, they might have been already shouting at us saying, wait a minute, you can't talk about Pakal the Great and not talk about how he was an astronaut, Josh.
I mean, how can we not?
Yeah.
So should we give it a bit of pretext? So,
yes.
Basically, his pyramid. So they thought it was kind of like a religious centre in the city.
Yep.
And didn't think apparently the inscription on it were indecipherable. They couldn't quite make out what it was.
Yeah.
And then basically a Mexican archaeologist by the name of Alberto Ruiz recognized the walls of the small temple continued down to a floor below. So it's like, maybe it's more of a burial chamber rather than kind of a religious building.
Yeah, exactly.
So he did some excavating from the years of 1948 to 1952. And then they finally discovered the tomb of Pakal the Great.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is up to many debates of what is on it. So,
well, they found his tomb, they found his sarcophagus, and it's the depiction on the front of the sarcophagus.
The lid of the sarcophagus that has caused many debates.
Yeah. So the picture itself actually depicts him with a load of ornate decorations around him.
Yes.
And then the interpretation of those decorations is what people...
Do you want to hear my conspiracy website that I read?
Go on then. Is this a factual source, Josh?
It's not. It's as you can tell as the points go on, it is very biased from one person's perspective.
Okay.
So apparently, according to said man, who I've not got quoted here, so I do apologise, Pakal is sitting on some kind of spacecraft.
Oh my God.
He is at an angle of a modern day astronaut upon liftoff.
Yeah, I think this is actually like the first guy to write this story. He had a picture of like the Mercury astronauts.
Right, and he was comparing the two.
Yeah, he compared the two. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So he's manipulating some form of controls. He has some kind of breathing apparatus or some kind of telescope in front of his face. There is something that looks like exhaust with flames coming out. His hand is manipulating some other controls. His lower hand is turning something on. The heel of his left pedal is on the outside of the capsule, and you can see it links to the flame of the exhaust. And then he ends with, "This is incredible. This is absolutely proof of extraterrestrials." So
There we go.
like I say,
Undoubtable.
completely unbiased. Two sides there, obviously.
We can't deny it, mate. With an argument like that, you know,
He's bullet pointing
he was
everything.
an astronaut.
All we can say is go and look for the picture yourself and decide for yourself what you think it looks like.
Yeah. Apparently, though, realistically, it's supposed to symbolise his rebirthing into the afterlife or whatever. There's a few classic
It's like
Mayan
Mayan
symbols.
mythology stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, like things like the world snake on there and stuff.
Right,
And
okay.
He's apparently sat in the mouth of the world snake. I can't quite figure it out myself. It's a bit.
It's got quite a trippy image, isn't it? It is quite.
Yeah,
It's definitely open to interpretation.
It is, but I think the interpretation of him being a literal astronaut is not the interpretation that he was the Mayan artists of the time are going for. They'll be a bit disappointed that people think now. How can you not recognise my world snake? Well, it's not a rocket ship. What's he on about?
I'd be gutted, wouldn't they? Yeah, but so yeah, like we say, go and have a look at it and let us know. Let us know what you think. Are you Pakal the astronaut or Pakal the dead Mayan?
Yes, exactly.
Do you want a quiz? I've wrote an actual quiz for you.
You wrote an actual quiz.
I wrote
for
an
me?
actual quiz for you that has something to do with monarchs,
Okay.
but the questions do not have anything to do with monarchs.
Right. Okay.
So it's a normal quiz, but there's some linkage somewhere, and you got to tell me the link between all the answers.
Right. Okay.
So it's a link quiz. So the
Right.
link is monarch based. The questions and answers are not
Right.
monarch based. So
Okay.
a load of trivia basically from a lot of different topics. We'll see how far you get before you get the link. I think you'll get the link quite quickly, but you let me know when you want to cease with the questions.
Okay.
So question one for a very English audience. What is the Nodding Bulldog? So the Nodding Bulldog is the mascot of which insurance company?
Churchill.
Yes. Which biodome in Cornwall was completed in May of 2000?
Eden.
Yes. Which cancer support
I
charity
don't know,
is
it's
renowned for its coffee mornings?
I forgot what it's called now.
We can go back to it if you like.
No, this thingy begins with M.
It does begin with M, yes.
Oh, I'm really blanking here. This is really weird.
Something coffee mornings.
Macmillan.
Macmillan coffee mornings.
Yeah,
What is the capital of the Isle of Man?
yeah. Is it Gordon Brown?
It's not Gordon Brown, no.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
it's Douglas.
Oh, Douglas, right, okay.
Do you think you might know what the link
No,
is?
no idea, mate.
I'll continue. What is the name of Tom Hanks' volleyball companion in the film Castaway?
Tony Blair.
That's Wilson for all our listeners. Which actor died in 2008 just before the release of The Dark Knight?
What's he called? I'm not having a good day today, am I? For remembering things.
Dark Knight actor. Played the Joker.
Yeah, he was called. I've forgotten. Just tell me.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger.
Number 7. What does Tom Hanks shout in the film Castaway as his beloved volleyball companion slowly floats away from his makeshift raft?
Wilson.
Wilson again.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a little bit of a shoehorn there, isn't it?
Little Wilson.
Yeah.
Little Wilson, Heath Wilson. Who married Audrey Callahan until his death in 2005?
James Callahan. Could you not find a better
Look,
quiz
I
fact
couldn't
than that?
find anything with the name Callahan that wasn't James Callahan.
Oh, okay.
There was no other famous Callahans that I could even. I was trying to think of like a company or a sport.
Oh, okay.
What is someone who installs and repairs thatch roofing on homes and businesses known as?
Thatcher.
A thatcher. Which scale can be described as having intervals of semitones between the 3rd and 4th, the 7th and 8th degree?
Major.
Major.
A major scale.
The major scale. In 1999, supernatural horror film is often credited as being the driving force behind the found footage technique later used in similar successful horror films, such as Paranormal Activity and Cloverfield.
Blair Witch
Project. Well done. Which US singer who died in 2006 is known as the Godfather of Soul?
James Brown.
Do you know that Gordon Brown is actually called James Brown?
Is he?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
his
right,
real
wow.
name. It's called Gordon James Brown, but he goes by Gordon instead of James Brown. And last few to finish off. Who directed the second and third biggest selling films adjusted for inflation?
Yes, Cameron.
James Cameron. What was the fifth month of the year?
May.
And which Olympian won gold medals in the 100 metres at the 1987 World Championships and 1988 Summer Olympics before being disqualified for doing doping and stripped of all his medals?
Boris.
Ben. Ben Johnson. So Hayden, do you think you might know the links between those answers?
I think those questions you're asking me were all the prime ministers of who ruled the United Kingdom whilst Queen Elizabeth II has been on the throne.
Fantastic.
I thought of a better one for Callahan, for James
Oh yeah,
Callahan.
there we go.
You could, well, it's not exact because
Okay.
it's actually Callahan.
Oh, right.
But you could have been like, what's the surname of Dirty Harry, the Clint Eastwood character?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Harry Callahan.
Harry Callahan. Oh no,
Yeah.
that's good. Well, I shall update my quiz for next time. But thank you for participating in that. I hope you all enjoyed it at home. Yeah, I think by the end of it, when I was getting to May, and I was like, "What's the fifth month of the year?" I was like, "This is."
And when you're like, what is Tom Hanks' ball friend called? Wilson. And then what does he say when his ball friend is floating away?
Just in case anyone's unaware, Harold Wilson was Prime Minister, and then not Prime Minister, and then Prime Minister again.
Yes.
Hence the two Wilson questions. But yeah, those are all the prime ministers. I'm sure you can go through them. And so from 1951 all the way up to the current day, 14 in total, but Harold Wilson twice. So technically only 13 in total, individual prime ministers. 13 people, but 14,
Yeah, I think
14 changes.
That's what I've seen. I've seen 13 people.
13 people, 14 changes. Yeah, double Wilson. The old double Wilson.
Yep.
I'm all out of facts, you know.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. So
Thank
thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
Keep hitting up those socials.
yeah.
If you have been. If you're not, why not?
Follow the Instagram. The YouTube is a thing.
Kinda. I think we're a bit delayed on
we
the.
tweet sometimes. Mainly Instagram is the main platform,
Yeah,
really, and Facebook as well. I think. Do we have a Facebook? No, we don't have a Facebook. I lie. Instagram. All
Yeah.
Instagram.
This is obviously aptly timed for the special Jubilee coming
if you've
up.
got any pals that are really into the Queen and
Platinum
the Jubilee,
Jubilee.
and stuff, feel free to send it them because we talk incredibly favourably about old Liz throughout all of it. I don't think you say anything negative.
I held my
once.
tongue. I said I wouldn't receive a birthday card off her, but that was.
That was well the way she went.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and yeah.
I know it's not a political. It's not Hayden standing in a soapbox half an hour. So
Not quite. No, it could have been. We had to cut that out. But yeah, it started getting a bit ranted in it towards the end. But yeah, I think-
we cut out a bit. I was going for hours and hours and hours. Poor Josh is sat there crying.
What else? Yeah, pass the pod. That's still a thing, isn't it? If you know anyone that you think might want to listen to it, feel free to send it to them.
Of course, yeah.
We always
yeah.
like to hear from new listeners, and yeah, always send them any episode. Don't have to be the first one. It can be really any one you might think
Yeah.
they like.
And if you are listening in Liechtenstein and you're
Yes.
thinking Johann II has loads of interesting facts about him,
Ah,
please
please-
send them our way
yes.
because we're going to have to do an update when Queen Elizabeth becomes the second
we
on the list.
we
So
will.
we'll drop in any facts we've learned about Johann.
Yeah, we can talk about how
in the
interesting he is.
meantime.
All this, but honestly, if you search him now, unless you know him personally, there is very little on the internet about
Yeah.
that man. He's a very elusive character. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So all I have to say is Zai Xian to all our Chinese listeners out there.
And there's plenty.
I'm sorry you didn't make the list today.
They have made a previous list.
You've
though.
made previous lists, so listen to those episodes.
But yeah. No,
If we don't have over 1 billion listeners on an episode, then I'm going to be very upset that you've not followed up on
yeah,
that.
share it with everyone in China.
Yeah, share it.
Everyone you know. But yeah, well done.
Yeah. So bye bye.